Hi all, welcome back and congratulations for making it this far. What we're going to do during this tutorial is simply add some bad guys just to make our game a little bit more interesting. So what I've already done is I've added in 3 new sprites. I'll show you the first one. I've called them SPR Monster 1, SPR Monster 2 and SPR Monster 3. I've grabbed them from our resources page on Sector. And all I've done is when I've loaded them, I've made sure that I haven't removed background check. You'll notice that they're 32 pixels wide by 32 high again. Very, very simple, so I won't waste your time showing you how to do that. Same with object. You can see here I've made OBJ Monster 1. Okay, so what we want to do with the monsters is have them move independently. So we don't want to have to interact with them. We want them to move around, not get stuck on walls, and obviously if our character runs into them, we want the level to restart at this stage, although later we will add some lives. So first for OBJ Monster 1, I'm going to add a create event. And when that's created, we want the monster to essentially start moving. So first, just like we did with our character, we want to use this under the Move tab. We want to use the Align to Grid. And we remember that all of our sprites for this game are 32 pixels by 32, as is our grid. So we just change that to 32 by 32. And then still staying in the Move tab, we choose the top left one, which is Move Fixed. Just look like that. And it might move up, down, left, or right. Now this is where it gets a little bit tricky, and this is why I've got 3 monsters. We're going to make Monster 1 be move slower than the character. So we'd probably use him on some of the earlier levels. Monster 2 is going to move at about the same pace, at exactly the same pace as the character, which makes you have to think a bit more. So we'll use them in middle levels, and we might make Monster 3 move even faster, which will make it much more difficult and put him in on later levels. The only thing you've got to make sure that you do when you create monsters that will move independently like this is that when you set their speed, that it divides evenly into 32. So that every time it goes past a grid space, it aligns exactly with the grid every time it moves past one. So I'm going to do the first one at a speed of 2, which means that every 32 divided by 2 is obviously 16, so that's an even number. So we can actually make this go at a speed of 2. My monster that moves at the same pace as the character is going to go at 4, and my fast monster might go at 8, which is also fits nicely into 32. Now, couple of things you can do. You're probably going to have multiple instances of this monster. So I can actually say collision event with itself is over on the Move tab. You can use this, which is reverse horizontal direction. Don't need to change any of the properties. This one up here, reverse vertical, and we can choose that one as well. The only other thing that we've got to watch out for a collision with is a collision with OBJ wall. What we want to do there is very, very similar to the create event, align to a grid and then start moving in a direction. So we just copy and paste that using the techniques learnt in last lesson. When we actually now check out our room, again, that's just there from last lesson, we can pop in our monster. My room's going to have a few issues with these monsters at the moment because if you don't have any extra walls coming out from the sides like this, your monsters will keep going around the side. So even if you're just experimenting or testing like I am, make sure that you've got some little bits coming out from the walls. So now I can play that and see how my monsters go. Actually, first I'll make my character die. So if my monsters run into my character, at the moment we do just want to restart the current room. So I'll just do it from my character events. So I'll just do a collision event with my monster 1. I'm just going to do a restart the current room. So that's just under the main 1 tab. And it's this one here. If you can see my mouse cursor right over to the right, it's restart room. With the transition effects, that won't affect the functionality at all. So choose any of those. It's just like a PowerPoint slide transition. So let's play that and just see how that works. So what you want to do when you're testing this is make sure your monsters don't stop when they run into each other, make sure they don't get stuck in walls, and make sure that they do actually bounce off each other like these 2 monsters are going to do here. And obviously that all of your original functionality works as well. So from my last tutorial, if I actually collect these diamonds, you can see that I can now finish the level, and if I actually run into my monster, my level restarts because I don't yet have lives. So have a go at adding some monsters into your game. Just add the first one and we'll look at how to duplicate those very quickly and make monsters 2 and 3 in the next tutorial.